Escalating tensions between the U.S. and Iran are raising fears of conflict in the Middle East. And that's after Iran said that it would avenge the killing of its top commander. It also accused the U.S. of state terrorism. Now, you're looking at live pictures out of Tehran right now. Iranians are at the streets to mourn General Qasem Soleimani. He was killed in a U.S. airstrike in Baghdad, and he was head of Iran's elite Quds force. That's the international arm of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. And he was regarded as the architect of Iran's influence in the region. U.S. President Donald Trump had ordered the military operation that also killed top Iraqi militia commander Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis, an advisor to Soleimani.
Turkey's parliament voted overwhelmingly Thursday to approve a bill allowing the government to send troops to support Libya's internationally recognized government.
The results of the vote of the 1044 presidential bill are the total number of votes 509, 325 in favor and 184 against.
The move comes after the government led by Prime Minister Fayez al-Sarraj requested Ankara's support to fend off an offensive by General Khalifa Haftar's forces that control eastern Libya. Erdogan and Sarraj recently signed a deal allowing Ankara to send military support to the country ravaged by conflict since 2014.
We have given and will give all forms of support to the Tripoli government.
North Korea is not likely to conduct an ICBM or nuclear test in the near future. That's what Joel Witt, founder of 38 North, said in a press call, that Pyongyang is aware of the implications, but they do have the alternative of deploying new strategic weapons that would have a huge impact without the downsides of a major test. His remarks come after the North threatened to showcase a new strategic weapon, which suggested redeploying nuclear weapons in South Korea, as it's important that the U.S. maintains the promise of extended deterrence to its allies. The analyst also mentioned to have an effective strategy, Seoul and Washington must restart joint drills and reach a quick agreement on defense cost sharing. But Witt emphasized Washington must show the North that the door for dialogue is still open.
Staff at the National Railway Company SNCF have been striking now for 29 days. This action is now longer than any other major strike during the last 30 years in France. It's longer than the 1986-1987 strike. That's when employees were fighting for their wages and their working conditions. Last week, the strike had already beaten the 1995 record, which was over reforms of social security and also the pension system, with the idea of extending the duration of contributions to create a balance. In 2018, SNCF workers stopped work for a total of 36 days, but it was over a longer period. Therefore, this strike definitely marks the history of the SNCF. The most important time staff downed tools was back in 1968. 4 million days of work were lost, and at that time the number of employees was much larger.
One in 8 women worldwide will develop breast cancer. Mammogram screening is the routine method for early detection and treatment, but it is prone to human error. The American Cancer Society says 20% of cancers in mammograms are missed. A new study suggests artificial intelligence can do better. Analyzing 29,000 images, artificial intelligence made 9% fewer so-called false negatives than doctors. Computers have been used to help diagnose cancers for years, but advances in AI are providing a breakthrough, and the big players like Google are committing billions of research dollars into the area.
Flowers and candles at Crayford Zoo. More than 30 animals were burned to death here after a fire broke out at the ape house.
Among the dead animals are highly endangered apes like orangutans from Borneo, lowland gorillas from Central Africa, and chimpanzees from West Africa.
Schimpansen aus Westafrika.
A total of 8 apes were killed, amongst them Massa, Europe's oldest gorilla, who was 48 years old. The fire in the ape house broke out shortly after midnight. The house was also home to fruit bats and birds. They were all killed in the blaze, but 2 chimpanzees survived. Police say the fire was caused by a sky lantern launched for New Year. The owner contacted authorities soon after the fire, reportedly unaware that the sky lanterns are banned almost everywhere in Germany.
That urgent search for 2 children missing in Idaho. Police are now issuing a warning to their mother, saying they believe she knows more than she's saying.
The brother and sister were last seen in September in Rexburg, Idaho, and now, more than a month after police opened their investigation, a chilling development.
This morning, a dramatic twist in the search for 2 missing children. Authorities say they strongly believe the lives of 17-year-old Tylee Ryan and her brother 7-year-old Joshua J.J. Vallow are in danger and that their mother is refusing to help find them. Tylee and J.J. were last seen in September in Idaho. Police say they have information indicating their mother, Lori, knows either the location of the children or what has happened to them, and that despite having this knowledge, she has refused to work with law enforcement to help us resolve this matter.
Well, Alberta has just recorded its first severe vaping-related lung illness. It's Canada's 15th case since September, is prompting officials here to remind people that vaping can carry major health risks.
Not much is being said about Alberta's first case of severe vaping illness, but the province's chief medical officer says the patient's condition was serious.
So this particular case is someone who is an adult, started to feel some symptoms early in December. Some shortness of breath and coughing, and symptoms progressed. They did require treatment in hospital, but have since been discharged and they're recovering at home.
Despite the fact that the patient is recovering, Hinshaw says vaping is a risky activity.
The message that vaping has health risks, some short-term, some long-term, and reminding people that if they're choosing to vape, they're choosing to expose themselves to those risks.
We have confirmed no one is in this car, but we are trying to access the license plate to get a hold of the owner this morning.